Good evening, everybody. My name is Sean, and on my channel, I talk about all things Eurovision. Eurovision Uncensored is the conversation here, and that is my pledge to anyone who's watching. We will keep it uncensored because that's what we have been doing for all throughout this Eurovision season. And this is the last time we're going to be meeting on our Tuesdays or Thursdays. We've kind of been meeting every day last week because it was Eurovision week, wasn't it? So this is our last episode of Eurovision Uncensored for 2026 season. Some of you are already here. Good evening, John. Good evening, PCT. I'm going to keep it at PCT because I just woke up from a nap, guys. I've been napping like crazy. Like since Sunday, I have been napping like crazy. I never thought that I could ever nap so hard. But for us in fan media, this is kind of the drill. You put all your energy out there, and then when Eurovision comes to an end, you have all the time in the world to sleep. And it's kind of even worse for the artists. I can only imagine how much they must be sleeping. But I'm not alone tonight, and joining me from the northernmost part of Ireland. Good evening, Jude.
Good evening. Sean, are you the Bangara?
The Bangara. Hey, I like the song. I never disliked the song, but we are going to get into all things Bangaranga because Bulgaria has won the 70th and the 70th.
The 20th Eurovision, yeah.
20th. Because I'm constantly episode 20, episode 21. Bulgaria has won the 70th Eurovision Song Contest. And I was really surprised, I'm not gonna lie. Like up till Wednesday, I was still not sure that this is even gonna qualify to the final. Not because I didn't like it, not because it was a bad song, but I don't know. I've always wanted to see an Eastern European country win Eurovision, and I've been wanting to see the jury and the public agree because it just feels right when they do. Does it feel right now? Jude, what do you think about Bulgaria winning?
I'm very happy for Bulgaria. To come back after the little gap and win, as has been done previously. Portugal did it in 2017. Ukraine did it as well. What year was that?
2016.
2016 when Jamala won. It's a very interesting winner, I think, in Bulgaria because none of us were expecting that jury result. I think that's one of the most surprising things of the night, actually. But that show was stressful, and we will talk about that, I'm sure. But what ultimately,
indeed.
Dara is going to get an international career out of this, which for her is what she needed because she's already very famous in Bulgaria. So she's going to get her international career. I'm very happy for her. Regardless of anything else that happened behind the scenes in general, I'm very happy for her.
Yeah. I like that for the first time since Loreen, really, we have a winner that didn't debut at the contest.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like this was like, okay, we need to get Switzerland to win Eurovision, or we need to get Austria to win Eurovision. Let's get the most Eurovision-worthy jury song of all time, and we're just, I don't think anyone deserves to win Eurovision unless they have had some sort of career domestically. And I'm glad that at the very least, we have a singer who is known domestically, even in the region. And she is experienced, she is experienced, maybe a little bit too much. She is experienced. Even though, in 20 years that I've been watching Eurovision, obviously some of them as a kid, but I always did my predictions, I never ever thought that Bulgaria would have won. I could have seen Bulgaria making the top 3, like at a push, but Bulgaria winning in this year, in this climate, I did not see that coming.
Crazy.
I did not see that coming indeed.
I do think it speaks though to the Easternification, I guess, of this year, where we saw a lot more countries in Eastern Europe competing, coming back potentially, and you do get a lot more neighbourly voting. And I think that this year kind of exposed actually a lot of how the neighbouring blocks work and how far people are willing to go with certain other countries in different regions, especially within the jury. The public, I think, was a lot more fair this year than
The public.
Yeah, the juries. I was watching with my parents, and almost after every single set of points, they were like, "We barely need the juries. Sure, we know where they're going to go anyway."
Yeah.
And I think the year where there's not one or two standout jury songs, I guess there were multiple standout jury songs. The vote was so split between them. Like, what was the highest? What was
I
the
think
highest?
I remember I actually let me pull this down for now because we do not really need it just yet. This might surprise you, but I had a conversation with Aiden on Sunday, and he actually made me aware that 18 out of 25 countries in the final received at least a set of 12 points.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I have criticized the jury vote in 2024 when 22 of 27 countries gave 12 points to Switzerland. And I thought it's statistically impossible for everyone to agree that hard. Yeah. So at least I'm glad that there was not that kind of consensus this year, and the jury showed a little bit more diversity. However, Aiden made me aware that 18 countries received 12 points. And Ira Losko, she literally messaged me Sunday morning, and she told me, listen, this jury vote is not right. It never was, and it never will be. It's an excuse for people to lobby. And what we've seen, and this is her words, not mine. She said that this year it was used as a way to leave out the favorites and give points to people who won't necessarily bother the scoreboard. And if one or two jury groups do that, I can be convinced. But we've seen when everybody was doing that, Italy gave 12 to Belgium. Germany, was it Germany? No, it wasn't Germany. Somebody gave 12 points to Norway. I think it was...
Oh, yeah.
It might have been Belgium, I'm not sure. I'm not so sure.
It, actually.
I think...
Norway got 12 jury points from France.
From France. I mean, that is ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, did you hear his vocals in the final?
They weren't much better in the jury show, apparently.
That's what Aiden told me. Like, I told Aiden, I said, because I wanted to, we were on a radio show, and it was him, me, and someone else. And I said, Aiden, what do you think? Do you think it's fair that the juries vote on a different night that the public vote for? Because clearly, if the juries heard Jonas Love on the Saturday night, I don't think anybody would have given him 12 points. He told me, guess what? He was even worse on the Friday night. I mean, what? Am I being proven right? Are music industry professionals not music industry professionals at all? And I've seen some of the people.
Are they music industry professionals?
I've seen some of the people on the Maltese jury. I mean, he's my friend, so I don't want to say too many things. Michael with a Y, my dearest friend. But I think if I went up to him and I told him, "Good evening, Mr. Music Industry Professional," I think he would frown at me. He's 18 years old, God bless him. Love him to pieces. But does he really have the experience to judge 25 performances on the Eurovision stage?
No. And that is an interesting change that happened this year with the 2 jury members under 25. Which,
to be honest,
I don't dislike it. But I think when you mention experience, I guess the criteria, which, I mean, we know it's not ultimately, but the criteria must be so clear so that a jury that is 18 and a jury that's 25 will vote objectively, not necessarily for the same songs, but objectively in the same way as a juror who's 50.
I think there's a limit to how much experience you can have until the age of 25. Certainly, I mean, 18, come on now, guys. This is to have a juror that's 18. I remember when we watched Monte Song, the girl that represented Montenegro at Eurovision, she was blasted for being on that jury. And I'm not trying to encourage anyone to take it out on her because she is still a kid. But whoever put her on that jury panel should be ashamed of themselves. Kids are not music industry professionals. I am 26 years old. I am not a music industry professional. Not only because, no, I mean, mind you, if I was on one of these panels, I think I would give a fairly objective result.
Yeah,
But
likewise, yeah. But I'm not a music industry professional.
I'm not a music industry professional. And it's not only because my place in Eurovision is fan media, but also because of my age. I haven't lived enough. I haven't been around enough for me to stand the test of time, you know?
Yeah.
So I still think what I think about the juries. However, this year, so I'm usually pro televoting. This year, I have questioned the televote in ways that I've never questioned it before. And we will talk about this. Let's take a look a little bit at some of the comments that you guys are giving us. By the way, the first ad break of the show. I mean, I think if you haven't subscribed by now, it's probably because you don't like me.
Should do that.
Or you don't like Jude.
It might be me.
It might be. I think it's usually me. So here's my last pledge, because this is the last live stream of the season. So if you want to come back next year and you want to be reminded of when we're going to be having content, here's your last chance. Come and subscribe to my channel. Okay, let's see what you guys are talking about. Let's see what you guys are talking about. Bangaranga. What a third win for Romania. I mean, a third place, not a third win, I'm guessing, but maybe that's what he means. Greetings for Bulgaria. Dobro večer. For me, Romania is second. I voted for Alexandra. Thank God we have a public winner again. It's about damn time. The song is a hit, unlike Finland, who would have been forgotten like JJ Nemo. That's how simple it is. The people chose. Do we really know if Finland's going to be forgotten yet? I mean,
I don't think that the reach of liekinheitin is the same as Bangaranga.
We'll find out, but
we will
me personally, I'm just not ready to make that prediction just yet, because there were some. I mean, who the hell thought Snap was gonna become a hit? Mind you, I'm not saying liekinheitin is gonna become anything closer, but yeah. Finland was stolen from Israel. What an epic performance, my friend. Do elaborate on this, because we will be touching up on this, because I have joined some of the dots, and I think the picture looks pretty clear. The best two songs actually getting top 2 in the televoting is crazy. Usually it doesn't happen. I mean, I'm glad you're happy, whatever that username is. I'm glad you are happy. Eurovision now a Gen Z TikTok slap contest. Songs don't matter anymore, only viral moments and performances. Sad it's so over. I'm not so pessimistic personally, but I do see where you're coming from, my friend. I do see where you are coming from. Aiden was good as well. I've said what I need to say about Aiden all season long, and I think it's about time we wrap this up. I think he gave his best performance. No,
I know he's been to Eurovision. Tick.
And yeah, his dream came true.
Got to the final.
I'm happy for him in a sense that I know Aiden, and I know he has been. I mean, since he was a kid, people would literally sneak him backstage so he can get autographs from artists that he really likes. And I genuinely think that this is the moment of his life. Whether he'll do it again or not, we asked him on our radio show, and he said never say never, but that's what everybody says these days, doesn't it? But no, I have the feeling that that Aiden is going to have a bit of a well-deserved rest now. If you gave me 10 guesses, I would not have predicted it, me neither. I would not have guessed this whatsoever. Dara's very popular here. Yeah, I mean, she's domestically very, very, very well known in the region. Dara and Delta and maybe Pete and Linda only as probably successful in home country with hit songs. I mean, Aiden is our biggest pop star right now here. Are there any others? I mean, I think those are the biggest names this year, right?
Yeah.
because akylas wasn't really well known.
No, he could go on to have a career. He's releasing an album on Friday. It's hard to tell with a lot of people. There'll be people like Felicia who will put out more music and people will listen to
Yes,
it and
absolutely.
they'll follow her as a result of, but maybe not to the same level. I think people are going to follow Dara, especially if she
Yeah,
starts releasing music in English, which I don't like, but Bangaranga's heading that direction anyway. She's going to have a better career, I think, from
yeah,
winning.
absolutely.
But it's hard to predict which exact artists are going to take off either regionally or internationally. There's people
Yeah.
that will not take off and probably never release another song in their lives.
Yeah, 100%.
But
I mean, we have to watch this space because I remember, from last year, okay, JJ won Eurovision, but he released maybe 2-3 songs, if you ask me, very forcefully, and
they all sound kind of the same, okay?
I wouldn't exactly call JJ a success story because, it just looks forceful to me. And that's the danger when you have a Eurovision winner and when you push a Eurovision winner who didn't have a career before Eurovision. So it's
like I haven't listened to a song of Nemo's since they won.
Me neither.
I did listen to some of JJ's whenever they came out and went, okay, that's the song. Anyways, I listened. Obviously, Loreen is a massively established artist anyway. She released an album this year. It was excellent. I enjoyed it. I listened to it a couple of times, and she has much more reach anyway. But yeah, I think I don't know if Peter is going to have, or what his career trajectory is going to look like. Linda's already got it.
Linda.
I don't think Peter Parkkinen is going to have much reach outside of Finland, maybe Sweden.
And I think actually, if you ask him, I don't think he really cares to have that much reach, because for some of these artists, Eurovision is like, especially for the Albanians, for example. The Albanians, Alice, I think he's gonna blow up in Albania.
Yeah,
but they don't typically care to have careers outside of the region, because in most of these countries, in Albania, in Italy, in the Nordics, their careers are sustainable enough in their regions. So whether or not it happens outside, it doesn't really make a difference. Let's take a bit more of these comments. I'm scrolling through and I can barely see. My eyes are really bad. All 3 return smash televote. Deserved, but still. That but still. I wonder why. Again, I really appreciate it. It's
very interesting, isn't it?
You guys go to town with these comments, because I do have my questions about the televote this year, and I will dive deep into them. Ira Losko got lobby 12 cup from Montenegro. it's not her, but yeah, it's for her, but it's not her. I gotta defend my girl Ira now, because when I didn't, I got into trouble. But no, besties level right now. Like, we're literally on voice message status. I think younger jury members are needed to maximize the competition to get a winning hit song. Last winning hit was Tattoo. I think so, but I don't think the age quota should take away from the quality of a music industry professional, personally. This is a bit like politics. In Malta, we have gender quotas, and we have, like, at the end of the election results, we get 6 women from each party to go to parliament. And that's okay. We want a gender kind of, we want more women in parliament, but in doing so, we're giving free tickets. We're kind of minimizing the quality. So there are ways and ways how to look at it. Jury doesn't mean researching or professional. Shame on these called juries. Yeah, you said it. Sometimes these jury members can be really bad. The younger talents who are better. I don't know about that. I'm not going to put the age card on it. EBU knew they needed a public winner, and things happened. Well, things happened indeed. Finland did a better performance, especially the violin, and Israel voted for just because of war support propaganda. Yeah, I think we've talked about that ad nauseum. So let's take a look at the split results in the final first. Let's go back to our winner, Bulgaria. And I'm going to ask you this, Jude, straight from the get-go. 312 public points from 36 voting countries, because we do have rest of the world. Me personally, it's a lot. I'm not saying she doesn't deserve, but realistically, logistically, mathematically, I mean, all of these 12s.
It's a lot.
Talk to me. What do you think?
I think we didn't see this coming, right? That's what I have to start it with. We did not see this coming. We did not predict that this would happen. We did not predict that this song, Bangaranga, would have such public, is drive the right word? Public, I guess, instantaneous go vote, right? And maybe that's because we were so entrenched in the song. We also didn't see, obviously, the semi-final results, which can reveal a bit more in retrospect. What I will say before we go in another direction, that this is mathematically less than Cha 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 got with the country comparison, and similar to Rim Tim Tagi Dim in televote composition. So it's not unheard of to get this spread of results. It's not unseen. We've seen it before, and a lot of songs that we have wanted to win have received similar distributions, right? I think there are maybe certain things that are swaying us slightly in thinking how will this do well? Because I think there's a certain country that we were expecting to gather more 12s by, maybe illegitimate methods, very illegitimate methods. So then you kind of apply that logic to this and think, well, is this also done by potentially illegitimate methods, or did it have such a instantaneous hit globally, I guess, that it got all of these 12 points? And I don't know. I think for me, it's hard to maybe critically analyze this because we've been with the song, we've sat with the song, we've listened to it, we've loved it, we've hated it. I find it hard. I don't find it difficult to believe that this could have happened naturally, but I do find it strange.
Yeah. I think that's very fair.
I think if another country that wasn't Bulgaria sent this song, and with so much being made about Bulgaria's return, I don't know if that would have had an effect. And we can never know these things, right? We can never say. If this was Sweden, would this have got the same score? It could have done. If Dara was Swedish and went, would this have got the same? It could have. But would it have? It's very hard to know. But yes, I know that you have thoughts.
I do have thoughts, and I think there's nothing wrong in asking questions. Here we're asking questions because I can already see people are going to come down with conspiracy theory labels. Yeah. I listen. If society doesn't ask questions, society would never flourish. Society would never develop. And I just want to take a look here first at the rest of the world vote, if I can be able to. There it is, the rest of the world voting. So we have known for a very long time that the rest of the world vote since 2023 always gave the 12 to Israel. 23, 24, 25 always gave the 12 to Israel. This year, rest of the world gave 12 to Bulgaria, 10 to Moldova, 8 to Ukraine, 7 to Romania, 6 to Israel, and only 5 to Albania. And we know that the rest of the world typically gives points to Albania because everyone in Kosovo who's watching Eurovision and wants to vote can only do so with the rest of the world vote, and they will probably vote for Albania. Yeah. And then Greece got 4, Finland got 3, Australia got 2, and Poland got 1. Now, let me tell you why this brings questions in my mind. Because me, who has long been in these Eurovision streets, I thought that it just doesn't sit right. For the simple reason that Bangaranga, while I like it as a song, I thought the stage performance was excellent. Dara's vocals were pretty good. It wasn't an instant hit with the Eurovision community to the point that anyone was saying this could win, this could be a dark horse, this might challenge for top 10. I mean, we weren't even having these top 10 conversations when the song dropped. And some people will say, oh, but the national final performance was limited in budget. The song came out on Spotify the day after. We heard the song. Nobody was talking about this as a potential winner. Nobody was talking about this as a potential top 5, top 10. So that is the first alarm bell for me. Nobody in the general community seems to pick up on this. And even on the odds, I mean, there are times where in the community, no one really picks up on something, but then in the odds, we see it go up, 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 up. And
well, actually, I'm pulling up the odds. If you look at the odds for Bangaranga, I don't know, I can't bring them up, I don't think, on this stream. You would have to, but look at what happened in odds of, like, on the day off for Bulgaria.
So I gotta do this, right? This
the
thing
little
over here.
Graph one.
Yeah. Oh no, it couldn't.
Oh, you can't load them.
History for me. Damn.
I'll give you a very dramatic summary. Bulgaria.
Oh, it's here.
Oh yeah.
It's here.
That's Ukraine though.
This is Ukraine? Oh damn.
Really?
Bear with us. Where's the IT team? Oh my goodness, look at this.
Yes. Like, from the 15th of May, it was sitting at 3% chance to win. And it jumped up only to 10% during the final.
There we go.
Yes, during the final, jumped up to 10%, but it had a massive jump as people who probably saw the song for the first time are suddenly going, wait a minute, I might vote for that. I also might put in a little bet to see, because if I might vote for this, then maybe the rest of the public will. It's a very interesting, because it jumped up to third in the odds, right?
This is really interesting for me. The song was chosen on February 28th, and Bulgaria was 8th in the odds.
Yeah.
As soon as the song was chosen, it dipped down to 15th by the 3rd of March. And that jump down, for me, is interesting.
But that always happens, right?
Does it? It didn't happen
typically, I'm trying to think who else did this. Because I think a lot of songs, especially for a country like Bulgaria, who are kind of, I guess, more hyped to come back than the likes of Romania, right? That song won the national selection and nobody thought Romania was going to win. And then only once we saw it on stage did that go up. Who else kind of has? I wonder what Ukraine did. Ukraine jumped down.
I mean, the odds usually give us a good enough thought process of what in general is being taught. That I mean, we constantly look at the odds. I remember into 2010s, I used to find polls from all sorts of websites. Nowadays, people just look at the odds. And even though the odds can be wrong, and they were wrong 3 years in a row now, there is still a measure of trust that what the odds are saying is legitimate. And if you ask me, I don't know for sure if any country has manipulated the odds like Malta did in 2021, because that was proven. I don't know for sure that it happened this year, but I actually think that the odds kind of proved to be a little bit unriggable these days, because if they didn't get this, I think there seems to be a measure of trust in the odds, which actually reflects where the natural direction is going. Now, with Bulgaria as well, that's my first case. This was absolutely, really like nothing thought about. Then we have to look a little bit at what happened and what made this contest possible this year. So back in October, November, broadcasters were expressing that they might just pull out because of Israel's inclusion. And then they eventually did. Against the background of that, Romania came back, Bulgaria came back, and Moldova came back. And these three countries were all collectively absent from 2025, Romania 24 as well, Bulgaria 23 as well. And even throughout the years that they participated, there was always one big collective problem: the money. They had no money. They had no cash. Their broadcasters are cash strapped. And we know for a fact that in Moldova, for example, an artist has to pay everything themselves, and they are only reimbursed if they come inside the top 10. This is public knowledge. We know this.
Satoshi jumping right now.
Satoshi just became rich. So we know this information, right? These three broadcasters came back. Two national finals from Romania and Moldova were sponsored by Moroccan Oil. We've seen Moroccan Oil ads all over those national finals. And I mean, Moldova never really had a national final in an arena until this year. So I don't think it's crazy for people to ask, because I've seen it all over Twitter and TikTok when this happened, where is this money coming from? It's only fair to ask these questions, right? Romania, the same. Bulgaria, I mean, these broadcasters are not very stable, and we know that. Now, if we think back November, December, if we didn't get these three countries coming back to Eurovision, we would have been in a situation where we would have had a semi-final of 14 countries and a semi-final of 13 countries. And if I'm trying to put my EBU hat on, I'm going to think it is absolutely ridiculous to look back on 70 years of history with semi-finals of 19 countries, and on the 70th anniversary, we have a semi-final with 13 countries. It's embarrassing. Not only that, but broadcasters still have to pick their songs. The quality is going to go down very, very much, because what are the chances of qualifying in a semi-final of 13? I think Boy George might have found his place in the final if that was the case.
I mean, he could have.
So these are things that we need to consider when we look at what happened, to kind of understand how important and how detrimental the position of these three countries was in this year's Eurovision Song Contest. Now, we know from the last 2 years that Israel learned how to manipulate the televote, right? And we know that in these last 3 years, broadcasters have much less information on their country's televote because of ESC.vote. Those votes do not go through the phone companies in the country, but they go straight to the GAME and the EBU. And that is why broadcasters like RTV Slo from Slovenia asked the EBU for a detailed breakdown of the televote results from Slovenia, because they don't have it. And Martin Green keeps telling us it's part of the security to have these votes not scrutinized. Security is lack of transparency. Since when? Anyway, I'm just going to pull up this comment just to say, come on now. If you're from Israel, you probably know how to manipulate the votes as well. So don't ask me these questions. Shugon 1, 2, 3, 4. So with all of that being said, to me, it is far too big of a coincidence to see that these three countries and Israel came top 4 in the televote. Bulgaria came first, Romania came second, Israel came third, Moldova came fourth in the televote. I'm not trying to say that these songs aren't good, because you know what I think of all of these songs. If you watch Eurovision Uncensored, if you watch my reaction, you know what I think of these songs. You know what I think of Moldova. Moldova was in my top 5 this year. But do we think that these are all coincidences? What do you think?
I'm gonna come back against you on this just a little bit.
Democracy.
So the method that Israel have used to manipulate the televote mainly is, one, the advertising campaigns, which are not legal, and they were called out on this year. Now, they should have been given a formal warning, which, if you get a certain number of formal warnings, you're out. But anyway, the second way is engaging highly charged political groups or, communities to pick up a phone and vote. That's how this works. So, you send out an email saying, between these times, pick up your phone. In the UK, it costs, for example, to vote one time, it's 15p, right? 10 times, 1.50. So I voted for the Czech Republic 10 times. It barely cost me anything, right? Because I love that song. But if you can say, okay, pick up your phone in this time, go to this place, go down to Israel, vote 10 times, and someone's already charged and thinking, yes, I'm in full support of Israel, therefore I'm going to pick up my phone and vote for them. I don't even care what it is. but this community that I'm involved with wants me to do that. Sure, it'll cost me £1.50. I might even do it twice because they're telling me to. I don't need to watch the show. Give me a date, give me a time, give me a location, I'll do it. Right?
Absolutely. And
if it's
with,
not government,
with the televote being open from the
yeah,
beginning of the show, there's so much time for it
so
to be
much
done.
so much time. And also, since it's open like the day before in the rest of the world, it gives them
Exactly.
a lot more time now. So that is essentially how you can get around the government stuff. If like Israel supporting group decides we're going to tell our supporters via a group email, let's do this, right? So we can then say, okay, these votes are coming in. A lot of people may not have watched the show, haven't heard the song, haven't heard any song, and they're going to vote. But do we have that kind of thing going for Bulgaria, for Moldova, and for Romania? I would say no. This is what I'm coming against you in, right? I would say that we don't have that kind of system, which has worked. Now, this is not an assumption because there have been screenshots of these emails. This is just at the comments. These emails have been shared publicly, that they exist. So that is a fact that has happened this year and has happened in previous years. But if there's manipulation going on from Bulgaria, Romania, and Moldova, that's not how it's happening. It's not happening in at least this same way that we've seen previously that Israel's been doing it.
I personally don't think you need ads to manipulate. You just need
you don't need ads.
Cards. And I mean, I'm not trying to imply here, okay? I'm just saying that there are too many dots on the same page that just need someone to join them. And I do think that there are too many things in common with the sponsorship of Moroccan oil for the Moldovan and the Romanian national finals. And someone actually made a comment here, and I want to pull it up because it makes a lot of sense. Where is she? Okay. Could it be that Israel didn't want to win but wanted to go to a country that wouldn't threaten its participation next year? Thank you. Thank you, DS5379. I think that's exactly what happened. I think there could be a scenario where Israel could have helped make sure that these countries got favorable tactics in their directions from people who know how to do it. And I mean, Israel knows how to do it. We've seen it. And for them to come back, they kind of were promised this kind of favorability. And again, I'm not saying that this happened because I don't know. But would it be crazy? I mean, we're living in a world where things aren't always what they seem. And I don't think that it would be crazy to think that based on what I said about the position of these three countries in a Eurovision that could not have happened in its original form without their return. And their participations could not have happened in this way without funding that clearly didn't come from the broadcaster. So I do not think that it is crazy to think that voting manipulation could have happened without ads, because all you need is credit cards. Yeah. All you need is credit cards. And I mean, even if you look at, let's actually take a look at the votes from some of these greater countries. The UK giving, not getting more points from the Ukraine, but the UK giving 12 points to Bulgaria in the televote.
That makes sense to me.
10 to Israel, 8 to Romania.
That
7,
makes sense
who did
to
they
me.
give 7 to? Australia. That makes sense to me.
That makes sense. UK does have a large Bulgarian, Romanian, Polish diaspora, which makes sense
Poland.
Why they would be given points in the UK. And I could probably guess exactly who where those 10 votes for Israel came from as well. Because we have political parties that would be very, very motivated to pick up a phone and vote. I think another issue, because there's a lot of discourse going on in our comments today, which is exciting.
I will be pulling up these comments once we finish our take on this. So don't worry, guys. We're going to be interacting with you.
I think I've seen a lot of things. I saw the post today went out where Bangaranga has entered whichever top chart at number 12 globally, right? it won the contest and people are listening to it. That means that people are enjoying the song enough to pick it up and listen to it on such a scale that it trumps a lot of songs from America, right? Now, obviously, we know that Eurovision has
Unintended.
Yes, the Eurovision has more monthly or more views than the Super Bowl, right? But when you've got people with like massive established fan bases in America and you get this one person from Bulgaria who releases a song that wins Eurovision, boom. That means people are enjoying it and enjoying it enough to vote it. And probably enough to vote for it and enough to listen to it enough to get it globally top 20. If you look at other countries like Finland, number 1 on the Finnish charts, you can barely see that. It's Bangaranga, number 2, liekinheitin, right? This makes sense. My System is up there as well.
Listen, Bangaranga is a good song. Bangaranga is a good song, and I always argued that whether or not Bangaranga would have won the contest, came top 5, came top 10, Bangaranga is probably one of the most TikTok friendly, radio friendly, and has the potential to have a longer life than most of these songs at Eurovision. Yes. And I don't think that's in dispute.
But the interesting thing is
I think that Bangaranga, it's a bit of a perfect storm. You know? Like it's a perfect storm. Yes. It is also a bit of a different trajectory. I mean, the last 2 years, if I'm not mistaken, 3 years, we've had queer Eurovision winners. This year we have a married straight lady from Bulgaria. And I think it's a perfect storm even for diversity.
Yeah. But yes, whenever you continue to look down the charts, if you go to can you go to Finland's televote there?
Yes, of course. Suomi. I mean, didn't Finland give 12 points to Israel?
Yes. Guess what song is not on Finland's top 50 songs that they're listening to?
Michelle.
Now, yes, who did Romania get their 10? I'm assuming
Romania
that's on their top
from the public, yeah.
Yes. Choke Me is number 9 in the Finnish charts.
And is Michelle the one that's not there?
No, it's not there. It's not in the top
Michelle
50.
Is the one that's not in the top 50.
Psych, sorry. It's now 45th on their charts.
Oh my goodness. Pass me a 45th.
Trophy. But what's above it? Eclipse. Did Eclipse get points? Public points? No. What's above it? Ferto. Ferto got public points?
Ferto got no points from Finland.
No public points. Viva Moldova is up there. 15th in the charts. F.Y.R. Yeah, Denmark definitely up there. Viva Moldova got 1. My System is up there. They got 6 public points. And their own song. So if you were to go based on chart position, right, it means that people who are listening and people who are enjoying songs, if you listen and enjoy a song, you're more likely to vote for it, right? You know what that is.
Yes, for certain age groups, I would say, because I do think Eurovision is predominantly a family show as well, and there are a lot of people who vote who are not really engaging on Spotify, Apple Music, or these things. So their votes usually aren't really reflected in the chart positions either. So I think, I mean, yes, there's a lot of sense in using the charts to look at the televote, but I think there's also a lot of misrepresentation from most people who vote who are in the older age groups in the chart positions of these songs.
Yeah, but this was also used by Spain last year to kind of say, hello EBU, something's not up here. And I'm not saying that if you look at a chart of a country, it should be in their televote order. It's more just people are listening to these songs, therefore they're more likely to vote for them, which makes a lot of sense. When you look at a country like Denmark, which got 8 from the public, Denmark didn't get loads from the public, right? They got 78 points, but they're getting them from Finland, and Finland are listening to the song. So I think it's not really directed at you. It's more directed at
I know.
the comments.
I think you bring very, very valid points to the table.
I think it's not obviously a one-to-one correlation, but it's an interesting one nonetheless, right? Where certain songs aren't making it in, or aren't making it very highly, or some songs are now making it in because people are like, oh, that's interesting. Why did they get? Why did Israel get that many points? Maybe we'll actually listen to the song, because it's interesting. Obviously, there is no direct correlation between votes and streams on any platform, but there's at least some form of, you could probably generate a model that gives you an approximation of what could happen based on streams, right? And televote, it's not going to be accurate, but it's going to have some kind of value for what a country is going to listen to.
Yeah, we're going to have to see something, because
yeah,
I mean, I always say that the voting public at Eurovision is so diverse that you can never really break it down in reality. But if there isn't some sort of overlap now with streaming charts, it doesn't make sense. And mind you, I do think that last year, I remember I said very, very clearly that Israel is going to win the televote, not only because of whatever, but because the song was actually really good. This year, I did say Israel is not going to win the televote, and ultimately they didn't, because the song wasn't immediate as the one last year. But the people who were telling me last year that they really loved Israel and the song, not the country, they weren't people who I knew that were streaming songs on Spotify. I mean, my mom loved that song last year. So again, it's there has to be some sort of overlap, yes, but I do think that we can't use streaming data to fully justify or not justify televote positions.
What we can do though is, I don't know if you know this. Have you seen that Rai, the Italian broadcaster, have released their percentages?
Yes, I didn't break them down, and I didn't compare them though. Did you?
Well, yes, I've quickly compared them.
Okay.
The order is the same, right? But that's not the interesting thing. The interesting thing is, from Italy, Moldova got 21% of the vote, Romania got 14%, Israel got 11%, Albania 10%, Ukraine 10%, Bulgaria 7%, Greece 2%, Finland 2%, Poland 2%, Australia 2%. So there's a very nice curve, right? Where the song that most people vote for, and it's up there, and then it steps down, I guess if you plotted the graph, it would be quite a smooth curve. That's not what we saw from Spain last year. In Spain, we saw jump up to 30%.
That was like 45% for Israel, right?
Yeah. I think what Italy's results are showing me from a statistical point of view is not necessarily valid, but at least a distribution that you could expect.
Yeah.
Right.
And
I'm not saying that the votes didn't come from a good place, so the results could still have been manipulated internally, but I'm saying that that's the kind of distribution you'd expect from a song that's coming first.
And to be honest with you, I fully don't believe that the Italian results were manipulated, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Let me say I am someone with the interest of having Bulgaria, Romania, Moldova, and Israel in the top 4 places in the televote. Italy would be the last place I would try to manipulate, because there are enough Romanians, enough Moldovans, enough Bulgarians, and enough support for Israel for that to happen. So Italy would really be the last place I would do. However, Spain, if they were in, I would be getting those Spanish credit cards. I would be getting those tarjetas.
And also, it's especially prevalent in countries where they have expressed that they do not want the participation of Israel in the contest, who are frequently seeming to give them 12 points.
There we go. I mean, it's.
But also, there is a thing in Italy where you can only vote 5 times, right? That is a thing in Italy.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
So that may also, because you could imagine that those margins will increase slightly if you could vote 10 times. But anyway, it would give you the same curve.
Yeah. 5 countries left, and suddenly 3 countries with no money did come back out of nowhere, and all 3 smashed televote. I think these are very, very fair.
It is a very valid question.
These are very, very valid questions, and I hope that they don't only remain questions, but they also have some sort of findings. Other contestants bring a song and a suitcase. Dara arrives with chaos energy and full Bangaranga festival package. EBU thought it was Eurovision. Turns out it was her private after party. Yeah, I mean,
she does have a very likable personality.
yeah, I love her personality.
I love her.
Bulgaria was my friend's family's favorite because it was so catchy. I watched Eurovision with 7 of my friends, and 2 of them voted for Bulgaria as well. So, I have
a friend in work who doesn't care about Eurovision until the night. Always hosts a party to be like, yeah, it's a tradition they do. He does with his friends, and their collective favorite was Bulgaria, and
There we
none of
go.
them care. Like
So
they're all
if anybody
like guys in
thinks
their young
that
20s.
anybody thinks that I'm implying that Bulgaria would have gotten 0 without them being in this position this year, that is not the case. I think Bangaranga is a pretty good song. Like Espresso Macchiato this year, Running Order was perfect, slow songs before and after it stood out big time. This is something I want to talk about because Friday morning, everybody was saying that the running order is so optimal for Finland. Finland was surrounded by 2 countries that got more televote points than them in the semi-final. How optimal was the running order for Finland? And I said this. I was very cautious about Finland's place in the running order.
Should we talk about the semi-final results?
In a minute. Let me break down these comments and we can go straight to the semis because I have absolutely nothing else to say about the final. The song got more support outside of Bulgaria. Shame a very large part of my fellow Bulgarians for calling Dara a Satanist. Yeah.
I mean Dara was going to withdraw after she was selected. And yeah. That is a very valid point that she did have to push through that. Not that a lot of people knew that when they were voting for her, but still.
Was she really going to withdraw?
Yeah.
She said she was going to withdraw, but...
Well, yeah, but, you know, she at least expressed that was a thing that she was considering. I'm assuming that she was maybe told, no, don't.
Because, I guess.
Yeah.
Wonder if Czechia or Malta sent this song.
Would not have won. It would have done better than It would have done better than each of those countries got this year.
Oh, I mean, the bar is on the floor. That bar is on the floor. And then F.Y.R wasn't tipped in 2018, but the week of Eurovision, it was the favorite to win, so Eurovision community gets it wrong. Straight after, 5 minutes after the first rehearsal, Eleni F.Y.R jumped up in the odds. Not 20 minutes before the voting of the final. For me, Montenegro was as good as this. It's amora, love you, se lo adora. What about Ukraine? Let's talk a little bit about Ukraine. It seems like Ukraine is slowly falling off the high.
Returning to what they should get.
But
I think this is a weak song from them anyway. I mean,
I think it got more points than last year, though.
It could well have. I think this. Well, last year was also weak. I haven't been loving the songs from Ukraine recently, but the thing is, right? It's an output of what's happening in their country. People don't have as much time to dedicate to writing songs, and write it. Like they're still doing it, but we know that the quality's been dropping in Vidbeer.
I think that I don't think it has to do because in 2024 we did get an amazing Vidbeer. And I think the quality has been dropping since last year. I mean, last year was the first Vidbeer that for me, a lot of the songs were absolutely unlistenable. And this year, I think it was a little bit better, but still, it wasn't.
But also, you can think of the songs from 2024 had maybe existed for a while.
I think what is happening is this. Ukraine, like many countries at Eurovision, uses Eurovision to tell the world what it wants to be like.
Yeah.
And I think Ukraine, in its journey of wanting closer ties to Europe, being more westernized, their songs sound more westernized. Their songs are mostly in English these days. And I think that is what's causing their quality to drop. I feel like they have a point to prove. It's becoming a little bit forceful, and they are forgetting what makes them Ukraine. And in a similar way, in a much more severe way, Armenia, 14th in the semi-final with a song that has, I'm guessing, more than 110 beats per minute. People thought it's going to qualify in the televote. 14th in the televote.
Not a good song.
Not a good song.
And we agreed it was not a good song.
Yeah, and people seem to agree. It got more points in the jury, though, so my series is not going to be cancelled. My series is not going to be cancelled. Everybody knows the support for them isn't related to music or the actual entry. I agree. I absolutely agree, and I don't think that is in dispute. And by them, I think we are talking about Israel. 15 pence, too cheap to vote. I did Albania twice and 8 of my other favorites, including Belgium and Germany. I am ashamed to say I didn't vote for Albania because all my votes went to Finland. even if you're just looking at songs, people will always remember them regardless, just because there's attention compared to another random song. I think this is a very valid point. I think Eurovision actually is a huge magnifying glass for these songs, especially during the week after. And it's true. And this happens in national finals as well. You know, the week after the national final, I mean, in Finland, in Norway, in Sanremo. I mean, there is actually a chart in Sanremo that discounts, sorry, there is a chart in Italy that discounts the Sanremo songs, because every year, no matter how good Sanremo is, the top 30 of the year are the Sanremo songs. So that is a very valid point. Very, very valid point. You also have to count in a part of the general public who's motivated for secondary political reasons, anti-Muslim people, for example. Again, Ash Nicks, you might as well join the live stream at this point, because these are very valid points. I do think there is a lot of countries who vote for Israel, not because they like the song or because they want to support Israel, but because of an anti-Muslim sentiment. And Israel seems to be the country that is sort of against, I wouldn't even say Muslims, I would say against the Islamification of Europe that so many people are voicing concerns about. And by that, I don't mean any political opinion from my end over this, because genuinely, I think it's very complex, and I don't want to make these statements on a Eurovision live stream. Lithuania, 0 points from the UK televote for the first time. Poland very low as well. I think this is
song-based.
But even when they've had worse songs, Jude, Lithuania typically always gets points from the UK.
It's true.
What do you think happened?
But also, well, I think we do have a large Bulgarian diaspora in the UK, right? So they're going to vote for Bulgaria.
Is it bigger or smaller than Polish and Lithuanians?
UK.
Well, I will pull up some comments while you pull up the stats. Interestingly, even though Israel had always won the rest of the world vote since its introduction, this time Bulgaria won instead. So if it had really been manipulated, Israel would have probably won that too. I agree. And is it crazy to think that maybe these forces that typically manipulate might have manipulated the vote for these three countries on behalf? I think that is a question that needs to be asked as well. So many comments, guys. I'm really thank you for these comments. I'm really appreciating the conversation. Finland love their rock. Very Nightwish. Yes, they do. And mind you, I think "Choke Me" is a really good song. And I remember saying on my Eurovision Uncensored episode with Adam, a colleague, I saw the second rehearsal clip for Romania. I thought it was dreadful, but it actually really came together nicely on stage. So Jan Bors, I have to give it to you, even though I don't really fuck with your takes, but hey, you did very good staging. You crank up right into the mic and get 200 points, or 187, because that's what they got. Sorry, boring Ukraine. Jude is right. Ukraine is where they should be. Ukraine, Jude, do you think Ukraine deserved to get 9th place?
Yes. Maybe lower. Maybe slightly lower. I think we're so used to Ukraine doing so well. I found a list of UK. It's quite similar, actually. Romania, very high up, which, yeah. Lithuania is higher than Bulgaria.
Wow.
But I do think it was a song preference in the UK. I think that, yes, we've got both, and so Bulgaria was a better song objectively than Lithuania was. Yeah.
Absolutely. Armenia's song was dreadful. No Armenian identity to the song. Armenia should send a Kele or Janjan again. Marky Mark,
please.
I completely agree with you. I completely agree with you. Jan did Romania staging. Yeah, he did. Jan Bors staged Romania.
And he actually did well.
Yeah, I mean, some choice moments there. I still don't really understand the lady covered up. But I don't think
it was the embodiment of the negative thoughts, right?
Yeah. There was a lot of camera work going on there. Listen, when we watched Bulgaria as well, Becca, who absolutely loves Bangaranga, when she saw the performance, she said, "Oh my God, it's overstimulating me." So in reality, there are so many opinions about everything that we can't really single out. But objectively speaking, I think Romania had a really good staging. So, do you want to talk about the semis? Let's dip
Yes, I
into
would
the
love
first
to.
semi-final. So, what are your initial thoughts here? We have so many ads, and they're advertising for free on my Eurovision Uncensored episode. So, Israel won the semi-final, and I believe that Poland came second, Finland third, Moldova
Yes.
fourth, Serbia fifth.
Who saw
Let's take
that
a look at it
coming?
like this. Listen, it's very interesting because Poland got 110 points from the public. They came fourth in the public, but then they only got 17 points from the public in the final. That is my main takeaway about this.
But that sort of thing happens. We saw it with Albania, and we'll see it when we go to semi-final too, right? Albania got a lot of public points in the semi-final and not so many in the final.
They got 85 points, between 85 and 17.
Which actually, that's quite a lot.
They came top 10 in the televote. Find me another reference, my dear.
This is,
but it's true.
I'll have to look for it. Yes.
It's true. These things do happen.
There's more extreme changes between semi-final and final in either much lower or much higher.
Yes, these things do happen. I think that Poland doing so well in the public in the televote comes down. I think the running order really helped Poland, to be honest.
Yep.
And I do think that the first semi-final, I mean, again, I watched it with my friends who are exposed to Eurovision only because of me. So there's a limit to how much I can do Eurovision propaganda. They all liked Poland. They all had Poland in their top three. And they all said that they can't pick 10 people from the first semi-final. So I do think that Poland's accuracy on the performance, vocals, and everything just came together nicely, made it very, very easy for people to vote for it. And also, I'm very happy for Poland.
Coming first in the jury, she had the best vocals.
She did. She had, I mean, listen, I'm not saying that juries vote for vocals because Ya came top 10 in the jury vote. Okay? Sal Da Vinci did not sing very well. So I think this is finally time that y'all listen to me and stop thinking that juries vote based on vocals. Please, for the love of God. If this year doesn't prove
but they do reward excellent vocals. It's maybe not directly based.
Alice.
Because what else are you voting for in Poland song?
I think juries voted for Poland based on the absolute perfect way the performance was executed. I mean, if I was a juror, I would take that into consideration. And even though I wouldn't take it into consideration, I think Poland song stood out a lot because it's very Western. It's very, very Western. You can take that song, put it in a Beyoncé Lemonade album, and nobody would realize it came from Eurovision. And there are juries who have these kinds of, they want the internationalification of Eurovision. I mean, these things happen, and I do think that that happens. But I'll gladly say that I was dead wrong on the jury support for Poland, because I always said I'm not too comfortable making jury predictions on Poland because historically Poland doesn't do well with juries. And this year we can debunk that, so I never have to bring that up ever again. Let's talk a little bit about Greece, who we didn't discuss at all. Greece came 7th in the televote, 71 public points and 88 jury points. Did we see this coming?
No. I think we were expecting big things. And this is what I'll say. The performance was good, right? It was fun. But it felt... I think we've seen this a lot in performances which have sections where you go from one thing to another, that it's too much and you lose a lot of... I think the song itself is maybe stronger than 7th in the televote, but the way you're segmented, you go from one thing to another, you're taking a lot in. Think back to Poland, they had one thing. It was one prop. Yes, you had the bit where she's not on the prop and she's now on the prop. That's fine. That can be visually traced, right? You had akylas by himself, then you had akylas going through a thing, then you had him on a scooter, then you had him going around the platform, then you had him going on top of the platform. Like, they almost did too much with their staging concept.
However,
yes, come back at
they
me with
came
something
7th in the... No, I mean, I again, the people I watched Eurovision with on Tuesday, nobody liked Greece. and the people were saying the same things. It's too much. They didn't really vibe with Akylas. I have nothing personally against Akylas. I never met him, but they were. I mean, people do make comments about the artist, you know,
Yeah.
especially casual viewers. But Greece came 4th in the jury and 7th with the televote in the semi-final. But then in the final, Greece came in the televote 6th. So I think that kind of song, again, we saw the kind of similar thing with Espresso Macchiato. They came 5th in the semi in the, last year in the televote, but 2nd in the final. I think those kinds of songs have their audience mostly on the Saturday.
Yeah.
And I do think with Greece, the leap was so big also because of the heaviness of the first half of the semi-final and the emptiness of the second half of the semi-final.
Yes.
And I also think that's what helped Poland. In the second half of the semi-final, I mean, if I had to vote for one song from the second half of the semi,
I mean, you would vote for Poland if you had to.
who
And
else would
maybe
I vote for?
a lot of people would vote for Serbia, right? Not my style, but you could vote for Serbia.
I think I would have chosen Poland.
Yeah, I also would have chosen Poland.
Or maybe Montenegro.
Well, yeah, I guess they were the start of the second half, weren't they?
Yeah, I completely forgot about them, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, the public did choose Montenegro.
The public did
get
choose
on that.
Montenegro, but, and this is
also
where I want to
Serbia.
bring up, now, this is where I also want to bring up another thing that is not a coincidence for me. So, Sweden, not a televote qualifier, 9th overall, 13th in the televote, and I think Sweden came 7th in the jury. Jude, what are your thoughts on this?
I didn't see this coming. That ultimately, no, I get it, because these types of, big EDM, dance numbers don't typically do well at Eurovision. Like, we've seen this before, right? Now, I would say that this is a better song than a lot of the previous songs of this nature we've had, right?
Yeah.
It was very good, but these songs don't, it is a fact. We've seen it time and time again. These songs don't do well. And maybe it's because that's not the target audience. And also, I think people have made the comment as well in the chat here. I've seen people make it all over the place. Whenever you cover your face, your engagement from the televote drops. And we've seen that before as well.
I agree 100%.
Unless it's a character. I'm thinking more of Give That Wolf a Banana, which maybe just, I can't remember how many, did it do well in the televote? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Because the artists,
did.
Yeah, the artists themselves were the creatures, right?
Yeah.
This was, hello, I'm Felicia and I wear a mask. And I think there's a disconnection issue.
You could also see her lips move behind the mask.
Yes.
So people, again, I like to watch Eurovision with my friends who are not into it as much as me. And everyone kept asking, why is she wearing a mask? Why is she covered? Why? Because she's doing everything else that's normal. And she was wearing a mask. I think Felicia would have been better off just with the sunglasses all throughout.
Yes.
If we want to have
are
that,
slightly better than mask. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would have made more sense. I think, again, Sweden being in a half of a semi, which was very competitive, didn't help it at all in the semi-final. Because realistically speaking, Sweden got only 7 more points than Belgium in the semi-final. Yeah. But in the final, Belgium got 0, so you would expect Sweden to get 0.7. But they got 16 points. So I think that the place in Sweden that Sweden had in the semi-final wasn't optimal at all. They had a better place in the final. But I will also say this just for the sake of the conversation, for the healthiness of the argument, and for, again, asking questions. 2 artists in this year's Eurovision questioned Israel's participation. They both had very disappointing televote scores, and in Eastern European countries, they were blanked. Is this only a coincidence, you think?
It's a question we should be asking, and one we will not get an answer for.
I mean, Sweden typically always does well, even with songs that, Robin Bengtsson, I Can't Go On, that came top 10 in the televote. Hello. 10 years ago, okay.
Yeah.
But really and truly, I think we should be asking these questions. And
Yes,
ultimately,
we definitely should be.
the scoreboard in every semi-final and in the final, there is nothing there that I can see and say, ooh, the hardcore Zionist wouldn't like to see that, but it's there. There's nothing that upsets. Nothing that upsets.
Let me swap that back on you. Belgium came second last in the televote. No, actually, where do those points come from? That might change
In the
my
semi,
point in the semi. That might change my argument.
let's see. Belgium came second last. Yes, they did. And their points came from...
Oh, Italy gave 12 to Belgium in both the semi-final and the final. Isn't that interesting? The jury.
I think it makes sense.
I mean, it doesn't make sense why you'd give it to that song, but...
No, Finland? Again, I don't think really it's an objective score, but listen.
Yeah, it was just interesting that they didn't change it. But
yeah, I don't think they should have changed it, though. Or at least if they didn't get 12 in the final, they would have gotten 10. And there were juries, I don't remember who right now, and I can't pull it up, and I'll have to do that research later. But there were juries whose scores changed drastically from the semi to the final. Mm-hmm. That is another question we should be asking. Mm-hmm. But with Belgium, when the song got picked, I actually wrote down on my thumbnail, is this a jury qualifier? And we talked about it having very good staging. Mm-hmm. The vocals were competitive. I don't think it could have been anything better than it was. No, I'm not surprised at all by juries, but by the Belgian score. And when I did the video with Ira Losko, she said, "I love this song," and she was a music industry professional on the panel in 2021. So Belgium is actually one of the few countries whose score doesn't make me ask questions. Since it's
it is very understandable in the global context. Estonia being a public qualifier, I find interesting. Just in general,
I think it makes sense.
No, yes, it makes sense because you've got Lithuania, Poland, and Sweden.
And did they get the points from Lithuania, Poland, and Sweden? 7 from Sweden.
That's what I mean.
12 from Finland,
from Finland, and 8 from Lithuania.
8 from Lithuania.
Like, would you, if you're Finland, do you give 12 points to that song? I don't know.
I think it does make sense. Of all the things that we could be asking questions about, this is probably like...
No, I'm not asking questions. I think it's just like,
No, we can ask questions, but this is probably like question number 17 in a pool of like 35.
Yes, I think I underestimated this song drastically. I didn't expect it to come 11th in the semi.
I always said, I don't like the song. You know how I feel about it. I don't think it should have won. I'm pretty much with the fandom on this. But I do think that it was always going to do better in the televote than in the jury. Yeah. I remember saying with Ira Losko, I said, I think this song might slip in at 11th place in the televote in the semi, but that won't be enough to put it through. And it turns out that it slipped in at a little bit higher than 11th place.
Like 8th?
And 9th.
Was it 9th?
9th. Just under Lithuania. So I think it's justified. I expected. Let me put it this way. What surprises me more is that it did better in the jury. It came 12th in the jury, and I would have expected Estonia to do worse with the jury. But
now here's a question. Well, not a question. It's just more of a fact. Imagine if... No, this isn't a question we should be asking. This is a situation we should try to imagine ourselves in. If this was a televote-only semi-final, right? And you get to the last qualifier. This time it's not Poland being announced last. This time we are waiting for countries such as Montenegro, Portugal, San Marino, Sweden, and Georgia, right? If that's our last set of countries to be called out,
just say
Sweden. We're all thinking Sweden, right? And they call Estonia. I don't think anyone can imagine us being in that situation. Like, that's an unheard of situation from 2000.
I know.
From 2010.
I think I'm gonna be honest here. I really, really, really can't get by with believing that the televote was all legitimate this year. And I know it's easy to say it, but looking at how the televote really, really just doesn't. I mean, even the numbers. Even if we go to semi-final 2, I think it was you who told me 184 out of how much went to Bulgaria?
Out of like 196 or something.
Like that's absolutely unheard of.
Is it though?
But
let me flick back. Can I flick back to
while I do my blur?
2024?
But if you wouldn't expect it from anyone, you would expect it from Cha Cha Cha, who closed the semi.
Yeah, but we didn't expect this song to do so well overall. Now this is still me playing. That's the wrong semi.
Cha Cha Cha. We expected Cha 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 to do well. I don't know.
Yeah, but we didn't expect this to do well.
Exactly.
No, when was Cha Cha Cha? Was it
23?
I'm on 24. That would be why.
How can I get Georgia? Oh my goodness, Georgia.
Cha 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 won the semi with 177 out of 196.
Less than Bulgaria. And that was the semi. That was the favorite to win the televote.
But Loreen got 135. And they got 127. Right? Yes. But so there were more if this makes sense, there were more competing for actually now I need to go back to 2026. What was the distribution like?
Look at this, dude. Look at this tripod. I mean,
yes.
This is definitely a question we should not be asking.
Well, do you know it's also a question you should not be asking if you go to Diva the Divas? 2 points from both.
Oh my goodness. I just wanted to pull up Georgia to say that I always argue that I don't think staging and performance can save a really bad song. Mm-hmm. Case in point, Diva the Diva, great performance, decent staging, but I do think it can kill it.
Yes.
And this is what is defined by this is what death by staging means.
Mm-hmm.
And
yes,
yeah, I think
here's a thing about potentially Georgia, right? As we know, Eurovision tends to be a net positive for a country when they host. A lot of money in tourism. Is Junior Eurovision a net positive? I don't think so.
Surely not.
I'm wondering if maybe Georgia are like, right, this year we'll send people that are well known and loved, and maybe not pump as much money into it, and hope for the best. That could be because Georgia have sent decent things as staging before. Not
last year was great. The staging last year was great.
Yeah,
I don't know what happened here.
I mean, I'm wondering if it's a budget issue.
I think that it could be, but I'm not sure if it is. I think it was just some people thought, oh my God, let's make them dressed as bees so people can remember them from Junior Eurovision. Let's give them these ugly cyborgs so we can touch up on the team of AI, and it flopped badly. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about semi-final 2 next, but before that, I don't want to forget some of these comments. DS says, I think Italy can fart into the mic and finish top 10, not Ukraine. This year showed us even Sweden flops when it's lackluster. I don't know if I would call Sweden lackluster. And I think Italy has a level of expectancy that they're just riding the wave of. And that's kind of the way to do it, but it's true. Saldavinci's vocals in the final, not the best. Ukraine didn't even have to qualify necessarily, in my opinion. I think Ukraine deserved to qualify personally. But I don't know. Is that your brother?
Yeah.
Oh.
He came and then he disappeared again. I should probably come say hi to you, but yes.
Unfortunately, I think the mask for Felicia cost her so many votes, and we probably thought it would be her downfall. Can't connect with her. Also, people thought she wasn't singing either. Could be. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It baffled me how Poland did so well this year. I mean, again, not one of the biggest questions, but definitely,
a biggest surprise.
Yeah. They did better than Justyna Stryjkowska. I mean, God.
You know what? It's a very nice redemption story for Alicia. Because she didn't get to go. True. And ultimately, she didn't get to go with a better song.
She got to go with a better song.
No, I think Empires is a better song.
Pretty Girls Rock. I've been on my shit now. It's pretty on top.
I loved Empire's bit anyway.
Really? No, I think this was better. Pray Poland was like Maltese vocal coach Pamela. The way she performed, I mean, Pamela has pipes. Pamela has pipes. Let's see. Greece might have flopped a little or not done as well as anticipated because all the quirky act is not novel anymore. The performance was giving me a bit of Sylvia Knight. Interesting reference. I do think, Ira Losco said this on my video, it's becoming increasingly harder to be innovative because there's just so much you can be compared to. So I do think that is the case. Serbia honestly didn't pop visually on this particular stage. What do you think? I think it was...
I didn't care enough about the song to really... I looked at it and went, yup.
I think that the people who voted for this kind of song would not have voted... Let me put it like this. I don't think the result of this song is because of the staging. People would have voted for this song, even if the staging was better or worse. And its fans, it's a bit like, what's it called last year? Tavoakis. I think the people who vote for these kinds of songs, they don't really care about the staging. They just appreciate that there is something like this in Eurovision.
But Tavoakis was excellent, and it was excellently staged.
I much prefer Tavoakis. It was in my top 10 last year. It's enough to see Ukraine's Televote pre-2022 to dispute the fact that they only get Televote points now.
That's not a question.
And I think before 2022, they had much more competitive songs. I mean...
But there are reasons behind these things.
Lady, I'm gonna strike like thunder, are you? No, Iceland this year too. And it looks like it's gonna stay like that.
Well, maybe not with Iceland.
Not with Iceland?
Iceland might come back next year.
For what reason?
They still had engagement. The public were kind of like, we might have a little look.
I mean, I don't think engagement was the reason they left.
Yes, but I think the public's kind of...
They missed the Eurovision.
Yes. Yes.
I will say this. I think these 5 broadcasters should all collectively tell the EBU, we're all coming back, but fuck your code of conduct, and we are not abiding by any precautionary measures to safeguard Israel at Eurovision. So we will say what we want to say. We will act like it's 2005, and I think really and truly that's what they should do. Finland, Estonia's neighbor. I thought Estonia was a borderline qualifier. Seems like by the end of it they were, because they came 11th, right?
Yeah.
Question: Were the jurors the same in the semis and the grand final? To my knowledge, they were.
I think
so. To my knowledge, they were. Even Anna Bergendahl got through on Televote. Felicia Musk sadly distanced herself from the audience, and I love my system. I agree. I completely agree. And for
people that already know her and love her from, watching at Belfast, etc., we don't get the negative impact of the mask because that's who we know her to be. If someone's coming in hearing that song for the first time and not knowing who it is, that's the issue, which is the majority of people who watch the final.
Absolutely. And I think some people said that, my system was a bad song. Of course, it's not going to do well at the televote. It won both the jury and the public vote in Melfest. And arguably...
Again, though, do people in Sweden know her as an artist?
Not really. Do they? She was Frog's Snooze content 12 months ago. She couldn't even be known. I don't think it was name recognition that put Felicia on the map in Sweden. I struggle to believe that some of the juries don't get some kind of memo or communicate with each other. That's how it always feels. You're right. You're absolutely right. I mean, I had juries telling me that this thing happens. I have proof, guys. So this is public knowledge at this point. Bulgaria was 5th in the semi and 1st in the final. Is that normal? Well, any other comments? Because I want to touch up on this. I really, really want to touch up on this.
I think you'd have to compare the list of countries that give them 12 points in the semi and in the final to talk more about that.
We absolutely do, and that is why I'm going to.
But I think that's it. I feel like I need an Excel spreadsheet.
Me too. And I didn't do my homework for that because,
No,
funnily
really.
enough, guys, like you would expect me to come into this live stream prepared with the numbers, right? But I'm not gonna lie. This live stream was scheduled to take place on the Sunday, as it always does. But I told Jude, I don't think I can go live because I don't know what to say. This is just too much of an anomaly. And I want to do this live stream in the same way that people expect me to do it. And that is why I'm here tonight instead of Sunday. So yeah, we need, and I'm still kind of, do I really want to get into this? Let's go on holiday. Let's park it. And when I'm feeling Eurovision a little bit harder, maybe I'll come back to it and I'll make a video about it. But let's look at semi-final 2, the results. And yeah, Bulgaria came 5th in the jury and 1st in the televote. And that televote was big enough for Bulgaria to win the whole semi. Romania, Australia, Norway in 4th. Denmark 5th, Ukraine 6th, Albania 7th, Malta 8th, Czechia 9th, Cyprus 10th. First thoughts, Jude. We all thought Cyprus isn't going to qualify in the jury. They came 10th in the jury.
And I think that was, well, no, hold on. Let's say this. Cyprus came 10th in the jury and Albania came 9th. What are you more surprised about? That's what I mean. I just read that off the running order there.
Albania came 11th.
What are you more surprised about? I'm more surprised that the jury didn't award Albania. Well, but then they never do they? I think that Cyprus's jury points are... I think Cyprus's jury score was generous.
I think Cyprus... So, let me put it like this. If I was a juror, I wouldn't be looking at just vocals.
Mm-hmm.
If I was a juror, and this is the criteria that was given to the juries. Song composition, I think the vocal performance was like 3rd in the criteria. Antigone's vocal performance would have been enough for me. So if I was a juror, I would have probably put Cyprus 2nd in the semi. Yeah. After the vocal performance, I would have probably put them down to like 5th.
Mm.
But there were people who were saying, Cyprus can't qualify with this vocal performance. Are you like kidding? Guys, have we forgotten that the song is an absolute hit?
The song is a banger.
Summer? Have we forgotten that the staging was perfect? I actually think this is one of the best 5 stagings all year. So the vocals, yes, the vocals are an important factor, and I will always argue that anyone who isn't able to sing their song shouldn't be on the Eurovision stage. But it's not everything.
Mm-hmm.
I would say Kalin had a much less competitive song, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The staging was nothing special.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that subjective opinion, I could have gone from ranking Kalin 7th in the semi-final to like 13th. Because there wasn't much that I could hold on to after the vocal performance.
Mm-hmm.
That is my take on Cyprus.
We do have to think about the fact, we do have to point out that Antigone's vocals were actually incredible in the final.
Thank you very much, Jules Kennedy!
But the thing is, right, because they were so good in the final, why were they so bad in the semi-final?
I don't know if you follow her on Instagram. I do. And she does these like daily diaries. And on one of them I was really curious to see that she actually left it there. She said she gets very nervous for no reason. And I don't think that Antigone is as bad of a singer as many people want to believe, because her vocal performance in the Greek national final, for example, was decent. I wouldn't say that in the final she was incredible, but in the final, you couldn't even hear a bum note. It was fine. It was absolutely fine. So I think there was
I'm not
so
surprised.
much pressure.
In the semi-final, that yes, she was nervous.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised that she came 10th in the semi. After her performance, I'm very glad she got through and we got to see her, I guess, true performance in the final.
Yeah.
Because we needed that, and she needed that.
Absolutely.
And the public, and that's what more of the public are seeing. So that's good for her. Obviously,
she came 8th in the public in the televote, and I actually think the public penalized her more than the jury for the vocal performance, because that song is your absolute televote hit. It has expectancy, it's catchy, it's everything. And I think the public penalized her much more than the jury for the vocals.
Yeah. I see that comment saying not incredible. I think it was more of a shock.
So shocking that we might call it incredible. Yeah, I mean, I
Yes.
didn't.
Incredible, the difference.
This one's on you, Jude. I didn't call it
Yes.
incredible.
Do you know whose vocals were incredible though? And was
Who?
robbed? Czechia. 108 jury points is what he should have got in the final as well.
I expected him to do better in the final, to be honest.
Yes.
In the jury.
Yes.
Where did he place in the jury? Cyprus placed in the jury in the final.
Czechia.
Czechia placed only 10th.
Mm-hmm.
104 points.
It's not that 10th. I was expecting him to come around that, but I think it was how few points he did get from the jury that was more shocking than the position.
Yeah.
Like he got 104, which is a lot, but it didn't feel like a lot. When you're watching the show and getting the results, it didn't feel like a lot.
I still think that the song is not immediate. We can argue about this till we're blue in the face.
Yeah.
But I can't fully say that juries probably didn't vote for it as much because the song is immediate, when so many times I'm claiming that the juries don't vote professionally.
Yes.
So I can't. It would be very hypocritical of me to say, "Oh, juries didn't like the song." Listen, I have been saying that I don't think juries vote for what is right.
Yeah. I mean, it's also Czechia. We're not surprised. I think the team are very happy that they got to the final.
And they came 16th. It's not like they came 23rd.
Yeah, that's
and they got televote points.
I mean, it's also a very me thing for my favorite song to get to the final and come about 16th. Zara Gasper did that in 2019. And that's my favorite song. So,
what are they called? We Are Domi got less televote points than this.
Yeah.
And I think it was arguably a much more immediate song. So I think Czechia can be happy.
It was a much more immediate song. It wasn't as good of a song, but
yeah, I guess.
But I'm very
Czechia
glad.
wouldn't have qualified with the televote though.
No, well, no, but we were never expecting that, were we?
No, because the song wasn't immediate enough, was it?
And the thing is, they would have qualified if it was just. If they would have qualified on jury points alone, which is what we knew would happen, right? We knew that this was a jury song.
Oh, that is interesting. Is that
they were fourth in the jury?
True.
They were fourth in the jury. Yeah.
So how many points did they get in the jury?
108. And
108.
Well, actually, no, they wouldn't have, because Switzerland got 108. No, but yeah, Switzerland got 108 but got 60 televote points, so they would have qualified.
Yeah.
If they got 0 from the public, I guess.
Yeah.
But they still, they only had to get 1 televote point to qualify.
And to be honest, Czechia came 11th. No, Czechia came 12th. Well, tied 11th in the televote. I think that's better. That's better than they anticipated. Let's talk a little bit about Albania, because I could never, ever cancel my series of why we don't need juries at Eurovision when I see a song like this coming 11th in the semi. Jude, what happened?
The jury is what happened. The public, I think, give this a very respectable score of 113.
And it speaks to the immediacy of the song, doesn't it?
Yes.
I mean,
and it was very emotional. It was very grabbing. I mean, to come third in the semi, excellent and deserved. But it should have, what was it in the? Were they 11th?
In the final,
they
they came
11th
10th.
in the. Yes, but they were 11th in the semi with the jury.
Oh yeah.
Like, you would never put 10 songs above this one.
I mean,
in
Norway came third in the jury.
Yes, I would not have ranked Who would have ranked Norway higher?
I don't think I would have ranked anyone under Norway in the semi-final except Armenia, and maybe Luxembourg, because I can't stand her. Very professional of me, right?
What I'm slightly upset about is how Latvia came, 13th. I did predict it to qualify. That is my bad. I feel like I could have predicted this semi-final much better. But I think Latvia didn't benefit from the countries that were voting in this semi.
She said that as well in a TikTok.
Yes. And you know what? I think sometimes if you have a big, strong public song, televote song, it doesn't really matter. But I think, because actually, Enna's a very good strong. It's not the strongest, but it's like very,
I think it's quality, but
I think it is quality,
and I
but
think
maybe
some
not.
people don't. I think some people still don't understand what I mean by immediacy. What I mean by immediacy is not that a song is good or bad, is that a song is instantly in you after the first
Mhm.
listen. And for example, I don't think Espresso Macchiato is the best song that's ever been written in the world, but you can't deny the immediacy of that song.
You hear it once, and mi amore is what's in your
Boom,
head.
boom.
Boom.
And there are
Like
people,
that.
and there are people who appreciate that from
Mhm.
all of these songs, one song will actually stick with them after the first time they heard it, and
Yeah.
they will vote for that.
And actually, if you look at the televote from the semi-final, with the exception of Cyprus, which doesn't quite fit my theory, but Bulgaria, right? You listen to that song, and you're singing bangaranga, bangaranga. You only need to hear that word, and you're like, yes. You listen to Romania, you're going over saying, choke me, like, that's stuck in your head.
It's
You listen to Albania, and you're thinking, nah, you don't even need to know what the words actually are. You're thinking, nah, nisa, da, 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 da.
it's
Like, you're
immediate,
there.
and even
It's
before the
immediate.
lyrics come,
Yes,
boom,
it's
it's
immediate. And to
it's
be
so
fair, I
immediate.
then also have to say, yeah, is kind of immediate in that way too.
But I also think Norway really benefited from expectancy because people expect this kind
Yes.
of perfectly slick pop from Norway. And I
Yeah.
mean, when Gotta went to Eurovision,
Yes.
great song, to me, so much better than Yeah, so much better than
Oh,
Like
yeah.
Her, so much better than many of the songs that Norway sent in the last
Mhm.
few years. But because it didn't have any of that expectancy, it
Yep.
didn't do very well.
Gone.
So yeah, unfortunately, that is a thing. I have to bring this up, Jude. I gotta bring this up. I mean, probably the most well-deserved result in 2026, I would
Yes.
say.
Apart from
If
the 12 from the Australian public. I mean, actually, does that make sense? Maybe it does make sense. When you think about the
12
Australian public.
12 from the Australian jury.
Oh, wait, the
No, from the
jury? Or from the public?
from the
Yeah.
jury, yeah.
That,
Yeah, 12 from the Australian jury went to Armenia. I just picked up on this.
in
I
what
have a
world?
theory. I said in my prediction that if Gojo couldn't get his milkshake to the final, Armenia won't either. So the Australian jury saw my video and they were like,
I know who we can vote for.
That is
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Armenia need to go back to sending a good song.
Armenia needs to go back to Armenia. Armenia
Yes.
needs to go back to Armenia. I think Armenia is trying so hard to distance themselves from the stereotypical thoughts that people have on them. And they want to look like they are a Western European country that can do radio pop and all of
The
this.
thing is, they can do radio pop if they send something like an adult version of Kami Kami. Right?
Which was still
Something
in
that
Armenia.
is. Yes, exactly. Something that's very slick, very polished, in Armenian, and I guess fits into our westernized, music. Yeah, right? Because
Yeah.
one of the reasons why Kami Kami won Junior Eurovision was because the song was miles above the quality of anything else in the Junior Eurovision contest, right?
And that wasn't
The
a weak
perform
Junior Eurovision.
No. Milena back then was not the best performer, right? Vocals were not the best. The song was excellent. And it's one of my favorite songs still of all time because it's so good, right? If Armenia sent something of that quality to Eurovision, they would do very well. This was not that.
This was very
Hard
far
last
from
year
that.
was not like that. I think
I
Armenia have
think
two options. You have the likes of Ladaniva with a very ethnic Armenian, this is our culture boom, or something like Kami Kami, which is so slick, so polished. They're very opposites, but they both are what people, I guess, the expectancy for Armenia is ethnic boom. But if they sent something like Kami Kami, it's not expectancy, but it's so good that it trumps it all.
We'll have to see. We will have to see. I
Send
would love to
Milena
see
to
it.
Eurovision with Tokyo 9 as a producer with a banger of a song. They will qualify and come top 10.
I would love to see it because I want nothing but good things for Armenia. I am at my
Or
comfort
even
zone when I
someone
am
like
flying.
Nanul.
I don't know who he
Send
is.
her. Send
We'll
her.
have to. Well, good. Give me more suggestions for my summer
Yes.
playlist. But I will say these are all good suggestions. But with the Lada Niva one, I think Armenia did the best at Eurovision when they sent a fusion of a pop song that is not very complicated, but that actually speaks Armenian musically. It doesn't even have to be in Armenian. And for me, the best examples are Love Wave and Kele Kele. I think Armenia should look back at those two examples and say, do we have an artist that can remind people what Armenia is in this sense? And once you have that artist, send them to Eurovision. It's an internal selection anyway. And I want to pull up this comment actually from DS. Armenia was too in your face. Park's song was also in your face, but at least he was a treat to the eyes. Respectfully,
you're not wrong.
Simon was the least likable performance I've ever seen in my life. To the point that, no, I'm not going to say he looked ugly, but he looked so aggressive. There was a part in the part of the choreography when they were in the lift, and he had his hands like this, and you could literally see him like this. How are we supposed to do that and get televote points, you know? And really and truly, all was bad. Even the staging. I mean, I would say the performance was well crafted, but the part when then they jumped off the boxes, it was like, and then this, you know?
It just kept on going.
It was so cringe that it was, I don't think anyone is sad to see Armenia out this year. This is an interesting take. Athena Manoukian with Kele Kele dance Armenian pop song would do pretty well. Girl, decent performer like Antigone. I need to see Athena Manoukian at Eurovision one day. But we have to give her a handbook of words that she cannot put in her song. Slay, diva, sissy that walk. Like,
what was the one that was in her? Oh no, it was Slay, and I'm here to slay.
Duck Queen Nation.
That was Duck Queen Nation. Duck Queen Nation would not have done well.
That was this year or last year?
That was last year.
That was last year.
What would have done well was Chains on You.
Chains on You was better.
That was a banger.
Chains on You was better.
That was a top song.
I will admit, when I first heard Duck Queen Nation, I was very cringed out. But I didn't take it off my playlist ever since.
No.
Let's talk a little bit about Denmark, because not Latvia. Who called Latvia? We talked about Latvia already. Denmark. Denmark got a decent place overall. I thought Denmark would do worse, and I was wrong about that. I always liked the song.
Did they come in the final?
They came seventh in the final.
Seventh.
Yeah. I thought a very decent score for Denmark. I thought they would do worse.
I thought they would do worse in the jury. The public vote was expected in the final.
I thought they would do worse in the public.
Yeah. I think 78. Really. I thought 78 was what they should have got. And I feel like I said that somewhere before. I feel like I said Denmark will get less than 100, like they'll get like 70, 80 points. The jury, and because I love this song, I think sometimes it's either harder for me to be objective, or I can be far too critical of it from like I love the song kind of point of view. I don't think his vocals were excellent.
They weren't.
I think they were a little bit shouty.
I
think if he brought the soul song down like one key, he could have performed it a lot better.
Absolutely. This is a common thread, I think. Even Sal Da Vinci, if they brought down the song a couple of keys, I think he would have been far more.
And the thing is, like, Søren can perform, right? He does musical theatre. That's his thing. So he can do it. I think the song is so high energy in his choreography. And, you know, even when he's like climbing up the steps on the box, hanging upside down into the box, I think it looked really good and it worked very well for the song, his vibe. I do think the jury score is a little bit unwarranted, actually. For what?
I mean, he came third.
The thing is, the song, he came third. He was tied in the jury with Australia.
And Australia came second.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yes.
Juries vote for
Right.
vocals.
I mean, they don't. Yeah. The thing is, the song is excellently produced, and the staging was innovative. And the thing is, it is hard to come up with innovative stagings at Eurovision, right?
Yes. No, I think the staging was great.
The staging was great. Yeah, I think for me, his vocals. I think. I mean, I wouldn't have voted for it if I didn't know the song or like it. I think, but I'm very happy. Denmark will be very happy with that result.
And I think Denmark, with this result, can finally say, is it time to start sending more songs in Danish? Because Europe
Yes.
clearly loved it.
And the thing is,
So-
Denmark have so many artists that send songs not exactly like that, but within a similar vein of Danish pop music. Like Swedish pop music is such a thing, right? Danish pop music is similar, but in its own genre, in its own lane, and is very good. Start putting it in to Dansk Melodi Grand Prix.
Denmark needs to do Danish. I think I would love
They
to
also
see.
do need a good staging.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Because I don't think this would have done as well without that staging, but yes.
No, it's true. It's true. Let's close this out by talking about the elephant in the room, at least for many people who are watching my live stream. So I came under a lot of criticism this year, even from people who don't even watch my YouTube, that I'm not supporting Malta, I'm not supporting my country, I'm always making bad predictions about Malta, so on and so forth. If I got a lot of predictions wrong this year, and mind you, I never said that Finland's going to win Eurovision. I never said that Finland's going to win the televote. And I just realized we've gotten past this live stream without really talking about Finland because I think it still hurts so much. However,
Yes.
Malta was one prediction that I keep getting right. And guys, I'm telling you, I mean, I've had conversations with everybody about this. Everybody you can think of. I've had conversations I never thought I would have with certain people about Aiden's Bella. And it seems to be unanimous. The staging was overhyped. The staging was worse than what we saw at Mesk. The staging was, when you compared it to what came around it, Malta followed or came before Czechia in the final. I think Czechia had better staging. Malta came after Albania in the semi. I think Albania had better staging in overall. And I think that was one of the biggest bad steps in this year's participation for Malta. The staging was severely underwhelming, especially when it was so overhyped by a certain Mr. called ESC Gabe, who I think has... this is another one of the questions we should be asking. ESC Gabe, why? Why? I mean, surely, if you chose to promote that, you either have poor taste because you believed in something that didn't look very good, or you had other interests. God knows what they were.
Apparently, this is my only defense of ESC Gabe. Apparently, it looked better whenever he saw the kind of demonstration construction than it did on stage. The things didn't work out.
Really?
That's all. Apparently,
if it looked better on a piece of paper.
No, they had like a visual demonstration of it or something.
Oh, yeah. I think we need
I don't know.
put the lid on it when it comes to overhyping staging. France has tried to do it and it never worked. Cyprus has tried to do it, it never worked. Greece has tried to do it and it never worked. I would say talk about the staging in a Czechia way. We don't want to distract from the song, and that's what we got. If you have to talk about the staging, talk objectively. Because when we're going to try to overhype something with staging, and then when you raise expectations of people up to the point that they can't be met.
Stephanie, whenever we said we're going to get something we've never done before, we got something we'd never done before, but it wasn't done well. It wasn't done well.
Yeah.
Last Dance. So that was a banger of a song, though.
I actually was on a radio show on Friday. I was exhausted. And the radio host kept asking me, where do you think Malta's going to place? Where do you think Malta's going to place? I was exhausted. I couldn't even argue my way out of it because it's just a number after all. And I just went 18th. And I forgot about that. I completely forgot I said it because it was just a number I threw in there.
Mm-hmm.
And he messaged me on Sunday. One of his listeners messaged him, who is that really smart guy who predicted Malta? Like, And I was like, oh, I said that.
But also, if you had to predict, you would predict between 15 and 20.
There was a time where I was looking into a 0 from the public, but Aiden actually...
It was justified.
Aiden did do some things right. And I think the promo with regards to the countries he visited got us points. 4 points from Australia that we don't know we would have otherwise gotten. You know? Now, Aiden told me, he said, but I only got 4 from Australia and nothing from the jury. And if I flew my way to Australia for 48 hours just for that, 4 points, I don't know if the return to investment is exactly what I would have expected. But I think I need to make another video. And you guys remember my Malta sucks at Eurovision video? I think it deserves a sequel. And I'm gonna let you
Malta
guys tell
still.
me. That's exactly what I'm gonna call it. Malta still sucks at Eurovision. I think I need to talk to the Maltese delegation again because I know they're gonna be watching. This is my channel. This is how I communicate with PBS through my videos. The CEO of PBS is a subscriber. I know that. And for some reason, either because I was wearing a cap, but he still refuses to say hello whenever he sees me at PBS. Hey, a new video will come up and I will elaborate more on Malta's placing on that video. Switzerland didn't qualify by coming 9th in both. Did we expect Switzerland to qualify in the televote? I didn't.
No, but we knew it was going to be borderline. And I guess technically it wasn't. But we had 2. I mean, the thing with Albania is, or not Albania. The thing with Switzerland is we had Albania, who was huge in the televote and not with the jury. We had Czechia, who was huge in the jury and not in the televote. And I would say, I'm not going to say unfortunately, that's then what happens to a song like Switzerland, which is pretty equally there. Because actually, I think the songs from Albania and Czechia were so much better this year. But
than Switzerland.
It just shows that you do. It shows that you need to have an angle sometimes. And Switzerland's song wasn't strong enough.
I agree.
It will have a cult following. People will start, following Veronica out of that. But it just wasn't. The song wasn't strong enough, and we rightly said it was borderline.
Yeah, I mean, the Wednesday before the Thursday, I had Switzerland in instead of Bulgaria. Yeah. But
yeah,
but
you did.
I changed in time. Then I got the 10
You should have stuck to your guns.
I did in semi-final 1, but in semi-final 2, yeah. I'm glad I didn't stick to my guns. How embarrassing would that be? Yeah, I mean, I think we've touched up on all the things that matter.
We want to talk about Finland briefly.
What do you have to say while I pull up some of the comments? I still don't know what to say.
Where I'm at currently is, I think we accepted a Finnish win too early.
I never did. I never thought Finland would actually win. For me, it was too much of a thing where I won't believe it until I see it, because I always know that the juries don't support Finland. I didn't fully believe that the song is immediate or giving expectancy enough for it to win the televote. The closest that I was getting to thinking that Finland could win was with the noise I was hearing around me, that it could be a compromise win. And I still think, again, Euroscoreboard really validated my opinion here. There was so much stuff going on with the jury that they were blanking out favorites, and it just became too much, to the point that even Australia, we thought Australia was going to do much better in the jury.
Yeah.
We thought France was going to do much better in the jury. We thought Finland was going to do much better in the jury, and they probably should have, even though I don't like France. But objectively speaking, when you look at the criteria.
But what we can say is, right, ultimately Finland is getting consistently better. I mean, from UMK, they're getting better, right? Since Finland has introduced UMK, we've had 6th with Blind Channel, 21st with the Rasmus, which they shouldn't have sent them in the first place. 2nd with Karaja, 19th with No Rules. Again, I didn't like that song, and I will say they shouldn't have sent that. But anyway, 11th with Erika Wigman, and 6th with liekinheitin. They're ultimately, whenever they get the song right in UMK, they're always sending something that's at least quality. But they're getting better, right? They're getting consistently better. They're going to win at some point soon. I think they just need something that's just going to do slightly better with the juries, ultimately. But yeah, it's hard to know what they're doing.
At this point, I don't know if Finland is able to win Eurovision, to be honest. I know I'm coming from a place of pessimism. I know I'm coming from a place of, I don't know. I'm not coming from a place of hope. That's all I know. I'm not even butthurt, because I actually was thinking, like, full disclosure, I was thinking Australia is actually going to do this, because there was such a classiness. And I did say to everybody, Australia is going to get more than 100 from the televote. And they did.
Mm-hmm.
There was such a universality to Australia that I thought that they might actually get it done. But I'm still too hurt with how Finland keeps getting treated at Eurovision. But I'm going to UMK next year. I don't give a fuck. Do you want to come?
I would love
Let's go to
come.
UMK.
When is UMK? Because
January? No, February 20th.
I am in Spain.
On the same day?
Mm-hmm.
I'm
going to Spain. For context, my brother is going to university in Spain next year, and he's going from January to...
Lewis!
Yes, he's
finally
going from January to May.
Erasmus.
Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to go to Spain on my birthday week, which is that week.
Listen,
so I will be in Spain,
unfortunately. We're going to be somewhere. It's good that we're both going to be somewhere, so we can...
If I can find a flight from Madrid to Helsinki, I might not come home.
Listen, we'll talk about this closer to the date. I also need to find a flight from Malta to Helsinki to go to UMK, but this is all up in the air. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching all season. This was a really, really good season, in my opinion, under the circumstances. I wasn't sure if I wanted to keep making content, given the current state of the contest. Can't speak. I am very happy that I continued. I think I will continue because I enjoy doing this. And I always say that what you get from Eurovision is always more than what you give. And what you give, for me, is the hassle, man. The hassle that Eurovision is giving us these days. And the arguing is just unbearable. But there is a return to investment emotionally and with all the happiness that Eurovision brings. It was lovely having these 21 episodes of Eurovision Uncensored, which is something that I've been wanting to do for a very long time, giving more of a continuous nature to something more than just a live stream. And I have to extend my pleasure to you, Jude. You've been amazing. It was lovely having you here.
Thank you very much.
Eston and Irvin, who couldn't be with us tonight because I literally told you guys this morning, shall we just get this over and done with? And obviously, for those people who don't know, poor guys, I can be very impulsive sometimes. So logistics maybe could be better, could be improved for next year. But hey, Eurovision is an evolving topic, and it was really nice to communicate with all of you guys who watched this year. We got record engagement, so thank you so much for keeping the engagement going. I do this with honesty. I do this because I love Eurovision. I don't make that much. I mean, anyone who's involved in fan media knows that you don't do this for the money. You do this for the love of it. You do this for all the good vibes that it gives you. We will find out which national finals we will go to next year, if we will go to Eurovision, whatever.
Sean, are you going to Bhutan's national final in August?
I would like nothing more, but I don't think that I will find a direct flight from Malta to Bhutan.
No.
And yeah, for now, I'm going to have a little break. I will come back to you guys with one video talking about Malta at Eurovision. I don't know when that will be, but I feel like that video we have to do, and I can promise you that at least. But I'm going to give myself a good rest. I think I'm going to go on a spontaneous solo trip very soon. And thank you from the bottom of my heart, Jude, Eston, Ervin, and everybody who has contributed to Eurovision Uncensored. You've been amazing. Can't wait for next year. And thank you all for watching. And thank you for anyone who's still thinking about subscribing. What are you waiting for? You won't be getting any more content anytime soon, but you'll find it handy for next year. Jude, any final words?
This has been so much fun. I've enjoyed being a very regular guest this year. So thank you, Sean, for inviting me. Even though my channel is inactive, I can't promise anything. I might be coming back in a different form next year.
Ooh.
I've been thinking. But yes, thank you, Sean. So maybe you should go subscribe to me too. Just in case I decide to open an Eurovision at some point.
With Jude Kennedy. Eurovision with
it
Jude
might
Kennedy.
come back.
He'll be the only collaborator on this live stream.
Go subscribe to Sean.
Listen, why subscribe for one when you can do two? So come and subscribe. We're way past 2 hours. The longest live stream of the year. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We will see you very soon.